And today's topic is the necklace. This chapter, the necklace, is from your second book, Footprints Without Feet, where we'll discuss about the suffering of a woman who is lacking in resources, whose name is Madame Loisel. Madame Loisel. Madame Loisel is suffering a lot. Why? The cause of her suffering is her feeling to be rich, to show off, but actually she is lacking in resources. She got married to a clerk. So her husband, Mr. Loisel, is a clerk. She got married to a clerk. She was born in the family of clerks, and ultimately she suffered a lot. She was beautiful, but she thought she did not have resources, the luxuries she wanted to. For the sake of luxuries, how life leads her way, how she suffered more and more, how her clerk husband helped her a lot, and how trivial things made her life miserable, especially a necklace she borrowed from Mrs. Forestier. So that borrowing from Mrs. Forestier made her life miserable. So ultimately we have to study about that necklace which is heading. What we have to keep in mind, our needs must be limited. We must limit our needs. We must use the things as long as we have resources. We should not be extravagant. We should use our resources judiciously. And that was not done by Matilda, Madame Loisel. That is why she suffered a lot. How she suffered, what were her ambitions, we'll discuss in this chapter. So let's begin the chapter with line by line explanation. This is chapter number 7 in your textbook, that is Footprints Without Feet. Matilda is invited to a grand party. Matilda, Madame Loisel. This is a French story. She is invited to a grand party. Her husband got an invitation from Madame Rampono. Madame Rampono invited him with family, and she got invitation. She planned to go there. She has a beautiful dress. She managed to get a dress. She was one of those pretty young ladies born as if through an error of destiny. It seemed that she was born if through an error of destiny. She was not destined to born in such a family where she was born. She was born in the family of clerks, into a family of clerks. She had no dowry. She did not get any dowry money, no hopes, no means of becoming known. She wanted to be known, but there was no hope to be known, loved, and married by a man either rich or distinguished. What she thought? She would be famous, she would be known by many, but all hopes were washed away because she was married. She was born in the family of clerks and she got married to a clerk. So all her hopes, whether she wanted to be distinguished, whether she wanted to be rich, all hopes washed away. And she allowed herself to marry a petty clerk, petty, trifle, worthless clerk in the office of the board of education. She married to a man who was a clerk. She was simple, but she was unhappy. Though she was simple, but she was unhappy too. She suffered incessantly, continuously, incessantly. She suffered continuously. Her sufferings were by no means over. Feeling herself born for all delicacies and luxuries. What she thought? She thought she was born for all delicacies. Pleasing food. She wanted to eat pleasing food, but she could not eat. She could not get any pleasing food. And luxuries. She wanted to live a life of luxuries. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment. She was suffering a lot. She suffered from the poverty of her apartment. The shabby walls and the worn chairs. She also suffered. She suffered from shabby walls, shabby chairs in her room. And that is why she was unhappy. And the worn chairs, all these things tortured and angered her. Not only she felt tortured, these things made her angry too. When she seated herself for dinner opposite her husband, who uncovered the tureen. Tureen is a big bowl for dishes. When he was uncovering the dish, a smell was coming out of the dish. He was delighted having the smell, and he said, "Oh, the good pot pie." Pot pie, a kind of momo, you can understand, stuffed with some meat or fish. I know nothing better than that. What can we get better than this pot pie? She would think of elegant dinners. She used to think of elegant dinners, great dinners, graceful dinners of shining silver. She thought of the exquisite, pleasing food served in marvelous dishes. She used to think how she will be served pleasing dishes in marvelous dishes, pots, pleasing delicacies, pleasing food items in marvelous dishes. She had neither frocks nor jewels, nothing. She did not have neither frocks nor jewels, any such thing. Then she loved only those things. And she loved only those things which she did not have. She had a rich friend. During her college time, school time, she had a rich friend. One of her friends was rich. A schoolmate at the convent. When she was in the convent, she had a friend who was rich, who she did not like to visit. And because that friend was rich, she did not like to visit. Neat. She suffered so much when she returned. And after meeting, when she returned, looking at things, the belongings the friend has, she felt miserable. She suffered a lot. She wept for whole days from despair and disappointment. And then after, she suffered a lot after reaching home. She wept for whole day, all day, and from despair and disappointment. One evening, her husband returned elated. One evening, her husband returned home. He was delighted, elated. He was pleased. What he got? Bearing in his hand a large envelope. What he was carrying? He was carrying a large envelope in his hand. Here, he said, here is something for you. Indicating her, he said, here is something for you. I have something for you. A pleasant surprise. She quickly drew out a printed card on which were inscribed these words. These words were written. What were the words written on the card? The Minister of Public Instruction and Madam George Rampono asked the honor of Mr. and Madam Loisel Company, Monday evening, January 18 at the Minister's residence. So it was an invitation to a grand party. She should have been delighted, but actually she was depressed. She was annoyed. She did not like it. She hated the letter, invitation. Instead of being delighted, instead of being happy, as her husband had hoped, she threw the invitation spitefully. With irritation, with annoyance, she threw the invitation on the table, murmuring, saying, "What do you suppose I want with that? What do you think? What do I do with this? This is nothing for me. This is useless for me." "But my dearie, I thought it would make you happy." Then husband said, "But my dear, I thought you want to go outside, you like company, you like being in parties. So I thought it would please you. You never go out and this is an occasion. You never get a chance to go out and this is an occasion to go out. And a fine one. Everybody wishes one and it is very select. Everybody wants to go out and it is selective. It is given to selective people. Not all the members, not all the clerks like me are given the same. It is given to only selective people. Not many are given to employees. You will see the whole official world there. And when will you go there? You will see the whole official world over there. She looked at him with an irritated eye. After this, she looked at him with an irritated eye, with anger, and declared impatiently, "What do you suppose I have to wear to such a thing as that?" Impudently, with annoyance, she looked at her husband. "What do you think? What am I going to wear that day? I don't have any dress. What do you think I am going to wear?" He had not thought of that. He did not think about it. The husband was unaware regarding this. He never thought about this. He stammered, "Why the dress you wear when we go to the theatre? What is wrong with the dress that you wear when we go to the theatre? It seems very pretty to me. It is very nice to me. Quite good it is." He was silent, stupefied, shocked, dismayed, sad at the sight of his wife weeping. When he saw what he saw his wife was weeping. He stammered, "What is the matter?" He asked his wife, "What is the matter?" By a violent effort, she had controlled her vexation. Vexation, annoyance. She was angry, irritated. So she suppressed her annoyance, controlled her annoyance, and responded in a calm voice. responded calmly, in a calm tone. She responded, wiping her moist cheeks. She was weeping, so wiping her moist cheeks. Nothing, only I have no dress and consequently I cannot go to this affair. Nothing. Only the matter is I don't have a new dress. So the result is I am not going. No problem at all. Give your car to some colleague whose wife is better fitted out than I. So you are suggested to give that car to somebody else, some other colleague of yours who is better, whose wife is better fitted than I. Whose wife is more beautiful, having so many dresses, so many jewelry. Give it to him. He was grieved, he was sad, but answered, let us see, Matilda. Let's see, how much would a suitable costume cost? Let's see, tell me, how much a suitable costume cost? Something that would serve for another occasions, something very simple. So he asked his wife about the supposed cost that she wanted, the cost of a new dress. She thought and thought and thought, because she did not want to be denied. She did not want to be refused regarding that money. So ultimately, after thinking a lot, what she found a sum of money she asked for. When she spoke, she asked for some money. She reflected for some seconds, thinking of a sum that she could ask for without being within immediate refusal. She did not want to be refused. That is why she thought and thought. And frightened exclamation from the economical clerk. She did not want to see her husband frightened because he was economical. He did not have too much money. Finally, she said in a hesitating voice. So ultimately, she spoke in a hesitating voice. I cannot tell exactly. I cannot tell exactly. But it seems to me that 400 francs ought to cover it. I don't know the exact amount, but it seems to me if I get 400 francs, that would be sufficient for me. It was shocking for the husband. He was saving amount. He was not extravagant. He was saving amount for his summer vacation. He turned a little pale. Husband got a little colorless. He felt colorless. His face changed to colorless. For he had saved just this sum to buy a gun that he might be able to join some hunting parties the next summer. He wanted to go for hunting next summer. That is why he had saved that sum of money, that is 400 francs, which was asked by, the amount was asked by his wife. With some friends who went to shoot larks on Sunday. Lark, very small birds, singing birds are those. Nevertheless, in spite of all, he answered, very well, if you like it, no problem. I'll give you 400 francs. I'm ready to give you 400 francs, but try to have a pretty dress. I'm ready to give you 400 francs, but do try your best to get a pretty dress. Get a beautiful dress, a pretty dress, wear it on the party day. So I am going to sacrifice for your party, for your dress. I'll manage the sum of money the next year which I want to go, which I want to buy. The money I'll manage the next year. Remaining in the next video. Thanks for watching.